Talk to the people around you. What do we do if there's no A? How do we plug in?
-4.
Yeah, it's just -4. If there's nowhere to plug in, then it just stays -4. Because it's a constant. It'll be a flat line when we graph it. We're gonna graph this thing. First, we're evaluating it, and then we're graphing it. Okay, so when I plug in, to decide which piece to plug into. So for -5, I have to look at the if statements. -5 is less than -2. It's not in between these, and it's not more than 3. So when I plug in -5, I'm plugging it into the top piece. -2 would be right here in the middle. It's equal to -2, so that's the middle. 0. 0 is in between -2 and 3, so that's in the middle. 1 is in between -2 and 3, so that's in the middle. And then 5 is more than 3, so that'll go into the top equation. So you have to make a decision when you're plugging in which piece to plug into. You have a question? Oh, I meant bottom. Thank you. The very bottom, so. And they typically do go in order, like left to right, lowest to greatest. That helps.
So, 0, wouldn't 0 apply to both the top one and the middle one, or do we just do the most true one?
The most true? You're really getting to the concept here of what 0 is, But on the number line, 0 is more than all of the negative numbers. So it's not less than -2. That would be false. So we're just going to do the middle. It should really be, one clear answer. All right, good. More questions? Okay, so I'm going to do x equals -5, and I'm using the top equation, and the top equation is -4. Since there's no x to plug into, the answer just stays -4. The fancy way to write this is f of -5 equals -4. So it's almost like you guys know how to plug in and evaluate. You're good at that. You can plug in and get an answer. But this is almost like learning a language, right? You're learning the symbols. What do all these symbols mean? This means when x is -5, y is -4. So I hope you understand that. Now we'll do x is -2, and that's going to be plugged into this part of the equation. So plugging in -2 in here, and now you can use a calculator. You don't have to work all this out. You can use the fraction button, parentheses, negatives, minus. Put that in a calculator. Hit enter. It'll do it for you. So f of -2 equals -2 is our next answer. Now I'm going to put a 0 into the middle. And that answer is -1. So I'll say f of 0 equals -1. I'm going to put a 1 into the answer. Questions? And lastly, 5 goes into the bottom, which is y equals x plus 3. So y equals 8. So I say f of 5 is 8. A lot of work. How to evaluate. How do we evaluate 5 different values? Had to pick the right piece, plug in, and solve. Now I actually have 5 points on the graph if I wanted to use them. This is an ordered pair, and this is an ordered pair, x and y, x and y, x and y. Our next challenge is to make a graph of this. If you have graph paper, great, use it. It'll be a little easier with graph paper. If you don't, you're doing it on lined paper. On this syllabus where course material is said graph paper, this is like one of the main sections that that is the reason that graph paper is listed for material. So we use it like once or twice every chapter. So if you have it, it does help. If you don't, do it on lined paper. So I want to see everybody's have pieces of paper out because we're going to follow those exact steps.
I can do big wand of dry erase marker.
What's that?
Big wand of dry erase marker.
Yes. Only I could throw it up and catch it. I should work on my hat. All right, little half piece of paper has your notes on it. I'm coming around to see you get their notes today. I'm gonna call on you. Hey, what's step 1? Hey, what's step 2? You have to review these notes. Bring them. They say if you just take notes once on a topic and then you never read the notes, they say you're not gonna remember it. You have to go back and read them. It's called like the forgetting curve or the memory curve or something.
It's like the half day.
If you don't ever use your notes, you don't remember them. You guys, earlier this week I told you you had a test Tuesday. It's actually Wednesday.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I think Wednesday is the 17th. Yeah. So I'm putting another day in. The block schedule was allowed. We're gonna hit Wednesday up.
What?
Man, I don't really want to do this on the whiteboard. What if I have room right here? Not a lot.
Yeah.
I'm gonna erase all my work and do it on here. All that beautiful work.
Open circle. Open circles.
So this problem should look pretty similar to the one on the handout. The one on the handout we had to go by 2s. I think we could get away with going by 1s here. Let me look. Yeah, I'm gonna try to go by 1s and use a big paper.
You don't need that much.
Do what?
You don't need that much for this one.
All right, so step 1. Adam, what's step 1?
First, write each equation separately.
Yeah, write these equations separately. Instead of f of x, I like to see y equals our whole lives. That's how we've been looking at them. Let's break them down into y equals equations. And so baseline is that you know how to draw a line and you draw all three of the lines on the same graph. You know, even if you don't understand erasing or the if statements, you should have slopes and intercepts on your graph. So our first one is a no slope line because there's no x. It's a flat line at -4. Why did I stop and put a circle? What was I thinking of when I did that? All right, so here's your y equals -4. Any questions so far? What is step 2? Jacob, what's step 2?
Graph the first equation using pencil. Use dash line for that's use dash line for
If statement. All right, we're going to use a dash line for this if statement here. It says if x is less than -2. So I'm going to go to where x is -2, and I'm going to put a dash line in, right? And the dash line isn't actually part of the graph. It's just helping me create the graph. So I could erase this dash line at the end if I wanted to really clean it up nice. But so here's -2, here's where x is -2. This line should only exist for numbers lower, like -3, -4, -5, -6. So for x is less than, we're going to erase the right side. And that says on your note handout, it tells you which side to erase while you're figuring it out. And since it's not equal to, I'm going to do an open circle. And there, this is the top piece completely graphed. Any questions on the top piece? All right, moving on to the middle piece. To graph this, you begin your line at -4, and then you move rise over run, up 1, right 2. Oh my gosh, I wrote -4. 4, right? Begin at -1. So we're going to begin here at the y-intercept, and then this is up 1, right 2, up 1, right 2. So here's the -1 I start at. So you might not understand everything that's happening, but you should know how to graph that line. Okay. Kaya, any idea where I'm going to have to erase here? I actually have to erase left and right because the if is saying that x can only be in the middle here, and this is a segment. So it only will run where x is -2 or to x is 3. It's like a very restricted domain. So where's x is 3? It's kind of in the middle. Here's 3. And I can use close circle. So this is actually going to be at 0.5. There it is. Little segment in the middle has a positive slope. This guy is not fully up at 1 because it was up 1 over 2. It landed in the middle. And those have closed dots because theirs are equal to. All right. Who just left home? Who's checking in here? Okay. Here we're going to go. Oh, it's you? Okay. Start at 3. And then we're going to move up 1 over 1. Up and right. This one starts at 3. Up 1 over 1. And that's 3 on the y-axis. Now, this says if x is more than 3 and it's not equal to, so I find the 3 and I already have that dash line. I'm doing an open circle on that and I'm erasing to the left. Nope. Wow, we did it. 3 graphs. 3 graphs in one. What a disguise. Calling it a piecewise function. It's really just 3 problems in one, isn't it? Yeah. So if you wanted to clean up your graph now and make it nice, you could erase all these dashes. The dashes really are not part of the graph. That's just helping us get it done correctly. So I might want to just clean that all up. Boom, boom, boom. That's the graph. Question?
So the evaluation is completely different from the
Gosh, I love this. So we could now check or evaluate every point we got and evaluate should show up in one of these parts. Could you tell me one of the answers we got and I'll check it? Like for -5, what do we get? So -5, -4 is right there. It's on the green piece. What's the next answer we got? -2, -2 is right there. It's on the red piece. What's the next one? 0, -1 is right there on the red piece. What's the next one? 1 positive 0.5. Did we have a negative? Oh yeah. So that's right here. Good. What's the next one? Is 5, 8 on our graph? 6, 7, 8. There it is. What's the next one? You see it, Allie? I love your question. Those answers to evaluate are on our graph. If any one of those points did not fall on our graph, our math was wrong. I'd have to go back and say, uh-oh, we made an error. Like I was slightly nervous about the -1/2, but there it is. So that math checks out on the graph. It's a really great check, actually. Any other questions? Speak up. You might have a great idea like that. All right, then, let's check yesterday's assignment when the sub was here. Yeah, what was it? Page 63, 64, which was in the absolute value section. Okay. I heard from last class that people were stuck on the compound inequalities. We could talk about that.
What are compound inequalities?
Like where there's 2 symbols. I think it was like the 4th problem down.
Don't you just like apply it like if you -5, you do it to every single one of them?
Yeah. Yeah.
What about the 100? The 67?
I don't know.
Because it was like it said or.
Just do them both. Plot them on the same number line.
I did that.
Okay, don't mess up. Please don't be blurry. All right, here's 63 and 65. This was page 64, 63 through 71. This was the assignment from yesterday. Here's the first two odd answers. Negative 18.5 on 63. And then, yeah, this one, 65, I had students saying they don't remember how to do this. This was something you did in Algebra 1 briefly. When you subtract the 5, you're doing it all the way to the left of the symbol. You're doing it in the middle to cancel, and then all the way to the right. And you divide by 4 on both sides, and y is everything between negative 2 and 1. It's kind of like the last grade problems in every section is like a spiral review.
I kind of did this. So I just took, I kind of separated and took the negative 3 less than 4y plus 5, and then I did that as 1, and then I did the 4y plus 5, which is less than or equal to 9.
Okay, you can separate them. Yeah, you can do that. Because you got the same answers, right? Nice. Right here are the evens. And then the one with the or, you just do both. You just do it 2 ways. Oh, this isn't the one with the or. Here's a good absolute value one to go back and recall. Or with 67. The stuff said you guys worked really well. I hope you did.
What was your name?
Kenzie Orr.
Oh, Kenzie.
As if you knew Mr. Kenzie Orr. Okay, here's 67 and 68. I need to see your face. Okay. Page 69. Okay. 64 and 66.
Oh. Did you use that?
How far did you get, Eli?
Oh, so they already gave you this?
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
Okay. Like weeks to get it to my brother. Yeah, it's kind of fun. Like any of them. I think 3 days. I didn't break any of them. And I didn't steal your pencils. Hunter gave them to me. Hunter gave them to me. I still have to have pay you for.
Here's 69 and 70. Reviewing those transformations on Monday. I'm going to pass back the quizzes so that you guys can try to recall your transformations, where we're going to review Monday, Tuesday. The test Wednesday has these transformations and things on it. So, gosh, your test covers a lot of information. It covers function families, absolute value inequalities, piecewise functions. And then 71. Gosh, it just disappeared. Oh, 71 was on here. No, 70. That's so tiny. Can you see it? All right, when you're done checking this, we're going to go back to looking at piecewise functions again. I didn't assign piecewise functions yesterday. I wasn't sure. This was more of a spiral review. I thought you could do more on your own. So go to page 83 when you're ready.
I'm gonna break the phone because you put my life.
And we just reviewed piecewise functions. So if you need to ask questions and add to your work right now, you should do that. It was to evaluate and to graph. And I remember telling you, like, use the back of the book, like use the odd answer to help you figure out how to create this. And then, Guess I'll show the evaluate first. All right, here's the answers to evaluate. 1 and 2, and this is page 83. This was assigned to you when we had block scheduling. It was 1, 2, 7, and 8. So the yellow tells you which bit you should have plugged into, and the blue tells you the answers you should have gotten out. So did you try writing 7 and 8 then? Any questions on plugging in and evaluating? All right, let's look at some graphs then. Ella, do you have a question? You look like you're figuring something out over there. That's good. Maybe you have decimals instead of fractions. Okay, let's see 7 and 8. Here they are. Did I go by twos? No. Did I go by twos? Nope, did not go by twos. Both of those were able to go by ones on there. Check your erasing. Check your erasing out.
I had 7 minutes for that. Yeah. Off today.
I would just do
Oh, yes, steam perch. I had this while before. You'll have them sing what? Oh, God. I don't play because it's kind of check. I live in the music for the master songs. I can watch them, but
all right, does anybody want to talk about domain and range of piecewise functions? We'll be testing domain and range of these functions, but we will talk so much this year about domain and range. Not for these, no. But I am happy to talk about it with anybody who's ready. So if you're curious and ready, let's talk about it. All right, I think that's it for me. Do you guys want to try another piecewise, or do you want to start the test review that's due next Wednesday? Let's get into it. Let's get into the test review. All right, here it is. This is due
What was that?
Let's do Tuesday.
No, it's the other one.
All right, we're gonna work on this until the end of class Tuesday. So you have 2 full class periods to work on this review. Pretty much what this looks like is I'm not presenting any new material until the test Wednesday. You have this much time to ask questions and figure out chapter 1. Okay? On Monday, we'll go through quiz reviews, and then these questions are kind of your method, your vehicle of figuring out what you know and you don't know. So you go to a question, it's broken down by section. The book tells you where to look for examples. Okay? One problem I have as a teacher is that a student asks me a question and I come to the board and I do the problem for them. Okay? Feels really good. It feels really productive. But that student leaves feeling like they understand. When it comes time for the test, they're blank. Because up till that moment, they have only watched me explain it. Okay? So I have explained these topics already. I really have to sit back and let you struggle for a while. Use your book examples, use your notes, ask each other. And then after you've tried all that, I will go over it with you. But me constantly doing it for you, showing you the answer, telling you the answer isn't best for retention. That's not going to help you remember it long time. So get into it, try the problems, use your notes, and I am here to answer questions, and you also have answers.